Hello, everyone, and welcome to the KeenGamer podcast. I'm your host, Mark O'Callahan, and like always, we have a great episode for you today. Please welcome back Jessica Orr. Jessica, how you doing?
Hi, Mark. Happy Bugsnax week.
Yeah! Bugsnax! Woo!
Bunger, 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 bunger.
Bunger. We'll get into that. And please welcome a bunger welcome to Noah. I just want to say bunger a lot, Noah. At the expense of your intro. My bad.
How you doing? Mark, good to be here. I'm happy that Bugsnax has reached you.
And it's reached you. It's on Xbox Game Pass. But again, we'll get into that. We got a great episode for you guys today. We're going to talk about all the news regarding PlayStation Plus coming next month. Jedi Fallen Order 2 reportedly coming out next month. Well, next year. That would be crazy if it came out next 30 days.
Skip.
Yeah, just drop it. And in honor of the Bugsanx DLC that came out on Friday, we are going to go through our personal favorite DLCs. But as Jessica introduced, it's Bugsnax week. It's a Bugsnax year. It's a hot Bugsnax summer. Whatever season you want, it's Bugsnax. Isle of the Bigsnax. Yay!
Bunger! Raspy!
Raspy! I forgot. Noah, can you just say bunger in your deep voice?
Bunger.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So
hire this guy. Great bunger. Say raspberry, actually.
Raspberry.
Say what? Raspberry?
It's this really high pitched. It goes raspy.
Raspy. Yeah. I mean, I'll get into why Noah has to say that. But so we were recording this on Sunday, a couple days ago. Bugsnax, big Bugsnax day. The free DLC came out, Isle of the Bigsnax. It is now out on Switch and it's out on Xbox, including Xbox Game Pass. So Noah, no excuses.
Well, actually, if I have an excuse, it seems that Microsoft has noticed that I have stopped paying for my Game Pass subscription.
How freaking dare they?
Bill Gates is coming for you.
Yeah, I've known this for a long time. Maybe Bezos will reach me first.
Damn.
He planned this. He planned it just in time for Bugsnax release. Oh no!
Well, I'm gonna have to renew it because I have to play Halo Infinite Season 2. I have to deal with that player customization. Well, actually, no, I don't. Apparently, if I don't pay, then I can't customize my character. So,
and Bugsnax.
Yeah, and Bugsnax. Yeah.
So, like always, we're going to talk about the games we're playing. So, since mine is recent, and I just won't shut up about it, I will talk about Bugsnax first. And let me tell you, I haven't played since January 2021 when I beat it. I platinum it 100%, did everything I can. And I wanted to savor that second playthrough, but I just never, it's just right. I got to do it just right. It's all about timing. You just can't go back in. It's not some cheap person.
You gotta savor the Bugsnax.
Light up the Yankee candle. Let's go.
So
this episode is not sponsored by Yankee Candle, but if we can, yeah, we good. So, and I forgot, so I'm playing it on PlayStation 5, and I'm forgetting how good it plays regarding the haptic feedback of how when you move the sand, the controller, the DualSense actually feels like you're walking through the sand, all the mechanics. And now I'm pretty sure you can pet Bugsnax. I don't know if you could do that before the DLC. So Raspy, so you can hear it through the controller.
Yes.
So yes, the government is watching me play it, and as soon as I pet it, I'll just go like this, straight to the ear,
That's happiness right there. Yeah.
That's what is it? Dopamine? Is that the happiness drug?
Sure, yeah.
We're keen scientist.
Keen
scientist. But enough about our spin-off show. And as I said, like, honestly, guys, you got to play Bugsnax. I'm not just talking about you two. Actually, Jessica, have you played Bugsnax?
I watched somebody do a full playthrough. I haven't actually played it yet.
So have you like watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
So I always knew, like, thinking back, like, Bugsnax made me happy. It made me hardcore cry. Made me believe in hope and love and conspiracies. And you might think, like, what is Mark talking about? Okay, you're always saying that, but it's like, no, this is true. I totally forgot about, like, the main characters are like Snorpy and Floopy.
Yeah.
And it's just like some
yeah.
Filbo, Jumbo, and it's like these ridiculous names.
Ridiculous things. What
it is. It's like I'm crying over Floppy. Generally feeling emotions. It's affecting my day.
As a Star Wars fan, I understand, Mark, when you're crying over Admiral Akbar.
That sounds badass, like Admiral Akbar. Admiral Floop. Well, I think anything Admiral.
Yeah.
Just automatically like upgrades you. It's like
Admiral Bunger.
Oh, that's badass.
Navy SEAL Raspy.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. So you started right from the start again. You didn't go straight into the DLC, right?
For a second, I thought I like deleted my old save, but when I hit continued, that's when I was like, I want to play a second time, and I'm like, no. You got to get the Yankee Candle. Can't rush it.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, okay. So if you already played Bugsnax, without spoiling it, even though it came out end of 2020, but again, you got to play it, or be like Jessica, you got to watch it. Prefer you play it, but whatevs. It starts you before the point of no return.
Okay.
So, like, before, like, in gaming, like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? If you do this, it's the end of the game. So, all of a sudden, there's this big earthquake, and this island arises, the Isle of Bigsnax, and you go on, and you just do your, I want to say normal side quest, because you're catching big bunger, which, you want to know what they call a big bunger? A royale bunger.
Perfect. That's when the first tear comes down, yeah.
That's like... And honestly, I love how the big bunger sounds like Noah saying bunger. It's like bunger, 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 bunger. Okay. But the royale bunger is like bunger, 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 bunger.
Are you hiding something from us, Noah? Do you do some voice work, Bugsnax?
I wish. Yeah, if I got paid for that, then I'd renew my Game Pass subscription real quick.
I was gonna say, if you are a voice actor in Bugsnax, Noah, can I have your autograph?
I mean, you can have my autograph. I'm not a voice actor in Bugsnax.
I'll still take it. Can you? Yes, please sign my saltine cracker box. I'll never let that down. I think I'll never look at saltines again without thinking, like, maybe I can become a badass. But, and honestly, it's just good vibes. The DLC is free. You just got to update the game if you haven't before. It's a lot of fun. If I wasn't doing something for the site, just updating some things, I would review this. Even though there's not a lot to it, there is kind of like, I won't say like an Animal Crossing stain, but you get to have your own hut. So you can upgrade it, add some stuff. It's just some cool, like, quality of life things.
If
And
you get
guess
mail
what?
in it, I think I saw you got like mail, letters. Did I make that up?
Yeah, you get letters from everyone. And, Bugsnax can wear hats now.
That's right. They're the shinies, right?
Yeah, so add that to my holiday wish list that Jessica has to get me. Steam Deck, plushie.
You remembered that, did you?
Do I remember that? I don't know, like, my own sister's birthdays, but I know the 2022 wish list. Honestly, it is a short thing, short DLC. It's free. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I gotta be fair. If I'm gonna let my simp for Bugsnax, yeah, I'm a simp for Bugsnax. Am I cool, fellow kids? Am I?
No.
No?
I didn't say no, but that was
I was
very
like,
quick
whoa.
reaction from you. You're like, whoa.
I was like, whoa, Pepsi, my heart.
It's totally understandable. It is an adorable game. My dog loves it as well. That sound coming from the controller, Raspberry, is his favorite. And I meant to play it when it came out, but I was playing another game, so I haven't got around to it yet. But I definitely will play it myself on Game Pass.
And I'm wondering, like, it's on Game Pass. One of my best friends, Elizabeth, she's playing it on the Switch. Because I'm like, you gotta play Bugsnax. Because she's also a big horror fan. Like, it's also creepy.
Yeah, haven't mentioned that. It's like cute, adorable, wholesome, and really weird and creepy.
Yeah. It's a little like The Wicker Man.
I guess
Not
a
that Nicholas
Philbo's in The Wicker Man.
I don't know why, like, The Wicker Man? Well, maybe because it's on an island.
I get what you mean, like this weird community, right?
Yeah, but it's not like the people aren't creepy. It's just the whole Bugsnax. And
yes,
I don't want
for
to
anyone that
say,
doesn't know, you're basically feeding them Bugsnax creatures that looks like food, but they're animals, and it replaces their body parts, so they can have like a hamburger ear or
yeah, like
cake hands.
I forget like the angry merchant in the game, but I gave him like
Yes.
and then I honestly forget what the Bugsnax was, but it had like a heart. So just to be adorable, I gave him like a heart nose.
Yeah.
But you can replace them, like you can have give them like a bunger body, which is like, oh, you get to customize them, but it's like you're changing their bodies.
Yeah, it's a body horror.
Oh, you know what? It's like a kid's Cronenberg.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. Kids Cronenberg, like a Pixar Cronenberg.
Yes, my ideal film, which is why
I would love that.
like the game so much. Yeah.
Yeah, try to fit that in your Pixar theory, people, folks. Jess knows what I'm talking about. Noah, get on it.
I hope to. I hope to. Yeah, assuming that the Infinite season 2 won't take up much time. Mean that, like, if there's stuff I have to pay for, I'm probably just not going to bother with it.
I feel like we're peer pressuring Noah right now to play this really weird game. You're going to play Bugsnax, right?
I mean, I like simpler games. Like yeah, if it's on Game Pass out and I see it, I'll be like, hey, it's Bugsnax.
Yeah, you did some of the puzzles. I think are a wee bit because you have to try and catch a bunger or a Bugsnax. It can be a little. I found it a little bit confusing when I was watching it. So you have to put this contraption down to go up into the air. But like I said, no, that's not really what you're playing it for. So you can just check a guide in it. Like, oh, okay, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I did that with some of the harder trophies. Like, wait, how do you do it? But it is also the fun of like even the DLC, like getting that feeling back. It's like, how do you catch a Royale Bunger? And you're using like you have all your gadgets, but it's like you get a new gadget and not really gadget, like a new tool that shrinks the animal.
Okay.
Snack animals.
Snanimal.
So yeah, if you haven't played Bugsnax, come on, you gotta play it. It's on Game Pass. I have a feeling it's gonna be on the PlayStation Plus next month.
Again.
Yeah, that game, like the PlayStation 5 version.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
When the new service launches, it's on the Switch. It's actually on sale on the Switch for, I think, for like 25.
I actually think the Switch is the perfect console for this because I was going to buy on Switch until I saw it was coming on Game Pass. I was like, well, I can get it for free, but I would have bought it for the Switch otherwise.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, I will probably buy it for the Switch because I want to play on the go. But I also forgot, like, again, the DualSense, like, And I've watched like videos of people playing it on like PlayStation 4. And I never realized like you get spoiled by the loyals, like the loading screen. It's like PlayStation 5, it's like, and never place. Well, this PlayStation 4 is like, all right, okay, and we're there. Very fast loading. So I'm like, okay, that's probably going to be the Nintendo Switch. Not a bad thing, but just something I noticed. So yeah, go play Bugsnax. Isle of Bigsnax. It's included in the game now, so do yourself a favor. And Jessica, buy me a Bunger plushie. Just saying.
I don't want to cause some controversy, but there is a Bunger plushie in this house.
What?
It's not being shipped anywhere. It's currently cuddled up next to a Baby Yoda, so it's pretty attached to where it is.
Baby Yoda does not deserve that.
It's a snack. Baby Yoda has not been replaced by a Bunger, but we'll see. We'll see.
Baby Bunger. Slider Bunger. Yes.
Isle of Slide Snacks. Yes, let's do it.
Isle of the Apps. App Snacks. App Snacks. We can have like a mozzarella stick, jalapeno popper.
Hire us, Bugsnax team. Look, he is Bunger Royale.
Yeah. It'll be like Monsty. Monsty sticks. I love it. Go play Bugsnax. So moving on from my obsession, Jessica, a game that finally came out on the same day, pretty sure the 28th. That was a Thursday, right?
Yeah, same day.
Or Friday. It came out very neighbory days. You have been playing Rogue Legacy 2, right?
I have, yep. If anybody's not aware of what Rogue Legacy, the first one and the second one are, is that it's a 2D side-scrolling roguelite game that changes the layout with every new run. So you never know what's going to happen in the room, whether it's going to be a bullet hell with loads of enemies or just a chest there waiting for you. It's defining, just like in the first one, the defining thing to know about Rogue Legacy 2 is that it's traits system. So when you die, you do not come back as the same person. You come back as an ancestor of the person who was trying to explore the castle. So you get a randomized trait. You can be blue. You can have gigantism. You can have dwarfism. You can have flatulence. You can be a diva, which puts a literal spotlight on you. And when you clear a group of enemies, roses are thrown at you. You can start a run and the world is upside down. So you're going to have to try and navigate and work out the controls for being upside down. Thankfully, you can load in and end a run right there. You're like, I just want to kill this person. I don't want to be upside down for my entire run, because it gets a little bit annoying when you can also have a peace sign replaces your weapon, which causes no damage because you're a pacifist. So that's no good. You can die in one hit sometimes. Again, not good. It's the same sort of thing that happened in the first Rogue Legacy, but they've added a lot more in this, and they've brought back some favorites. It's basically the same as Rogue Legacy. I played it. It was a free plus game. One of the earlier ones, I think. It was a game I kind of always came back to. I was horrible at it, and I am still horrible at it. But it's a little bit more fun because they've refined a lot of things that I found annoying about the first one. So you get like 15 classes in this, whereas the first one only had, I think, like 6 or something. And it's pretty funny classes. Sometimes you can have a pirate. You can have a chef, who's like one of the most OP classes in the game. They can like cook themselves a stew to heal them. The duelist is like a really fun, quick character class. These are also randomized, so you get to pick between one of them in the beginning, and you get to see what traits they have. So you're like, oh, I'll be a pirate. Oh no, but they're a pacifist, so what's the point of picking a pirate? I guess I'll go with a Valkyrie. I like roguelites now. This is probably one of the first I ever played, the first Rogue Legacy. Again, I'm really bad at it, but I'm not a huge fan of the flow of the combat and the movement in both of the games. It feels pretty slow compared to things like Dead Cells or Returnal. Like, I love them. They're like my favorite roguelites. This, I feel like I just get hit all the time by like just touching an enemy, which is really frustrating. I touch an enemy, I get hurt, you bounce back, I'm on the spikes, I get hurt, and your runs are cut really short. Um, it kind of takes a little while to get used to a class. So there's 15 classes, and if you're trying a new one, trying to get good in a run with a new class who has like all their weapons are different. The Ronin's pretty cool. He can like slash from really far away, but has an extremely like long cooldown time on his hits. So it's kind of hard to try and get perfection. It's one of those games I feel like people could just nope out of really soon. You know, it is satisfying when you kill a boss or a group of enemies that you're struggling with, but I'm not a huge fan of the general combat and movement feel, but they've really improved things like the classes, the way it looks a lot better. It's a bit more cartoony, and you can portal around places now and unlock, so you don't have to do the same thing every time to try and get to a certain place. But that's basically my word vomit of Rogue Legacy 2. I would only recommend it if you do like roguelites. The traits are pretty cool and funny, but they do kind of get annoying after a little while, and I just end up killing an heir at the start of a run, being like, I'll get a new one now. Wait till the chef or the duelist comes around. Yeah.
Oh, Jess, yours isn't word vomit. Mine was like, the Prezi! I'm just so excited. Actually, you know what's funny? We were talking before the show that I finally bought Hades. Only played like 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm like, all right, I'm digging this. I won't talk about next week. I won't talk about this week. This month. Promise.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting. I watched a video from Kind of Funny, the Blessing show, and he was talking all about the like these roguelike games, and they highlighted Rogue's Legacy. And then I was like, oh, that's the sequel to that game they were talking about with the different traits.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, I know in the first game it was like you're nearsighted, so the whole screen looked like how nearsighted you were.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I know you probably haven't gotten like that far, but it's like, can you run out of ancestors?
Judging from the first game, no. You get randomized names and looks, and then if you went through all the names, it's like Sir Julie the second, Sir Sabrina the third. If you can, I would have run out of it a long time ago. I'm not joking. I'm really bad at this game, like extremely bad. I've defeated the first boss, and that's it. And even that was either like you can lock down the world, you can buy an architect, but then you get less gold for your runs. But I just did that and ran to the boss constantly. It took me a really long time. It was kind of like I was back playing Elden Ring. Yeah, only you get to pick your class at the start of every one, so you couldn't once you got it down with like, oh, I can do this as the chef of this boss, the chef wouldn't spawn for me. So I was like, shit, now I've got to try and see what the Valkyrie can do with this boss. So yeah.
Noah, do you like the roguelike games?
I haven't tried them.
Hades is on Game Pass when you when you get that Game Pass subscription again. And Dead Cells.
Dead Cells.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone all week because we were just talking about like game of the year. And like it's probably gonna be Elden Ring. Again, we're not even halfway through the month. But I think like the big contender is Starfield, and how like I'm hyped to get an Xbox for Starfield, but also Game Pass.
So honestly, so I literally can't keep up with what's going on Game Pass. Like I wanted to play Guardians of the Galaxy again because it was on Game Pass. I played it on PlayStation. And Life is Strange True Colors came onto it. All these indie games. I haven't played Norco yet. I only played Chinatown Detective Agency for a little bit. Trek to Yomi's going on it, which was a surprise to me. Yeah, you'll have a lot of games, Mark.
Again, we'll pinpoint. We'll just plant a flag in that one when we talk to PlayStation Plus. But going back to Rogue's Legacy, so I know you haven't played that much, but what is your favorite trait?
My favorite trait. That's interesting. I don't know if I have a favorite trait. I think the funniest one is flatulence. It replaces your talent, which is the chef's cooking and whatever that special class thing is, with just you fart and it hurts people. That's I feel like that sums up Rogue Legacy.
So basically, your ancestor is Wario. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a crossover with what? Wario's Legacy.
Wario's, it could work. I'm telling you, it could work.
As we said last week, come on. Come on. Noah, what would your like ancestor trait? You know what? I mean, okay, it's obvious. Like if you were in the game Noah, it would be like voice.
Saltine crackers. Yeah.
That or like secondary trait philosophy.
Yes.
What was it? The chain theory?
Yeah, it's my old paper from college.
I pay attention.
He noticed your haircut. He remembers your college years.
I don't know, like, my sister's birthday. I'm terrible with names and birthdays and people information. But Noah, I got you.
I'm glad.
Jessica, anything else about Rogue Legacy 2?
I think I covered everything. Like I said, it's a smarter design than the first if you didn't like the first, but I feel like you really need to kind of play it to understand what I mean about it being a little bit slower and randomized than say Returnal or Dead Cells. But if you like something like Spelunky, I think you'd like Rogue Legacy.
Awesome. So, Noah, you have still been playing Fallout 4. What's the update? What's going on, kiddo?
So I've done a few quests, kind of gotten the layout of how I want to do everything. This time I'm actually playing as a woman. I decided like you know what? I'm tired of hearing the Nate voice actor over and over. This time, like I've seen people do this, so I'm to try it. I'm to make my character a woman. Yeah, so I made, and I'm actually really, really pleased with how I manipulated the character builder to get this character. She looks really, really good for how I want to like cast her. I want her to be very much like a Catwoman like person, like the sly lady who always gets what she wants one way or another. Yeah. So I'm very pleased with how she came out, and right now I'm trying to build a settlement with a mod. I'm going to try to build something in the switchboard, which is an early railroad dungeon. It's like their old headquarters that got raided by the Institute. So I figured this is a good place to have her settlement. So with mods, I'm trying to build down there. As usual, I've run into some frustration. I think there's just a mod that I'm missing that I've used before, and for some reason I must have deleted it by mistake that has items that I really like using. So I mean, they look for that later today.
Awesome. So just to clarify, you're playing like a Catwoman, the DC Comics character, not a cat/woman.
Yeah, like a character. She has red hair, some light freckles, this great eyeshadow. Really, she's better looking than any girl I've ever dated. Yeah.
Are you falling in love with your Fallout 4 character?
Oh man, I don't know what's more concerning. This is like a Black Mirror episode right here.
Right.
By the way, apologies to Noah's exes.
Well, I don't think they're watching.
I don't know. If we get some thumbs down, it's not going to be because my rambling of Bugsnax. It could be, but I'm just saying. Just my team.
I mean, if they saw my character Ruby Red Fox, I think they'd agree. Like man, you made yourself a nice character here.
Man, you made yourself. Yeah, you're like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I want to ask less about Fallout 4 and more of like, okay, women in Noah's future life, dye your hair red, go out in the sun, have fair skin, get little freckles.
Tips and tricks for dating Noah. Number 1.
Dye your hair red.
I'll work on that guide.
Yeah,
I'll help out your future girlfriend.
Hey, if we can write KeenGamer Entertainment, we can also give out life advice.
Keen life, yep. Keen scientist.
Keen scientist. As long as we don't go into keen religion, I think we'll be all so good.
Well, speaking of the character creator, I haven't played Fallout 4 in a really long time. How does it hold up with all the other Bethesda character creators? Would it be the best one?
So it allows you to do the most. A lot of people will say it's almost too much. Like you can adjust a person's jowls, like multiple aspects of their mouth. It is a bit much, but you know what? I'd rather have it than not have it. I like it. You can really make every character look different, and I think that's a big part of why Fallout 4 characters tend to be more memorable, because like it's those little nuances, like they all look so different because you can adjust like every little thing on their face. Yeah, so yeah, I like they give you a whole lot. I'd say some of the hairstyles like are like something that most gamers will never use.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I'd say. Like with the hairstyles, pick more realistic ones, Bethesda, like something that you could actually see someone using. Like I think there's like I only saw like one long hair for females that was appealing at all. It was like, yeah, like every girl that's playing is picking this one.
Yeah. Can that stuff be modded? Like, can people make hair and put it in the game?
Yes, I've used mods for male characters, but I picked a style that I liked for Ruby because it was it's like knotted in the back. So I was like, I like that it's neat like this. Like it's very tidy, and it's because it doesn't cover her ears. You can see how her ears really point like a cat.
Uh, anything else about Fallout 4, Noah?
That not that I could think of. I'm gonna keep working on that settlement. I would actually one thing I was going to try building a settlement like in those highways that go like above landscapes. But the thing that with that limits the building program is whenever you try to play with elevation like that, your NPCs are always going to spawn beneath it. And they're just programmed to always spawn on the ground. So it really limits what you can do in terms of elevation. So I'd like to see an improvement there with the future Bethesda building stuff.
Awesome. And one final note, Ruby Rosenthal is such a badass name.
Yeah, that would be awesome. When I named her, I noticed like it sounds like a boxer name kind of, but
Actually, now I'm just trying to think of like who was the first actress to play Batwoman? Ruby Rose? Meh, I don't know.
I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah, she was called Ruby Rose, I think.
Yeah, like that's her. Well, that's the actress name. Something that's not important. We're not here to talk about cancel shows. R.I.P. Batwoman. Moment of silence. Thank you. So let's move on to the news. And I said we would go back to the Xbox Game Pass because this will come in because we got a bunch of PlayStation Plus news. So at the beginning of the week, there was of the premium tier, the high tier where you can play PlayStation 1, 2, 3, PSP games. There's been a little leak in that. We got some titles that will be on, reportedly. We have Tekken 2, Mr. Driller from PlayStation 1, and Ridge Racer from PSP. We also have demos, so I believe this is also in the premium tier.
Yep.
So any games that will be on the PlayStation Store above 34 will have to have a demo. And there's many ways you can do a demo. And then also there's a little controversy. Well, I would just say medium-sized controversy. So people are trying to stack PlayStation Plus gift cards to extend the membership when it bleeds over to the revamped PlayStation Plus. They are getting denied. Tons of PlayStation Plus. So I want to ask Noah, looking outside with his Xbox, what's your reaction to all this? It's a little chaotic.
Yeah, a little bit, and I think it's gonna hurt. Like this is brand new, and they need people to sign up that like to compete with things like Game Pass and Steam. So yeah, I think that's gonna hurt Sony.
Jessica, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think kind of like Xbox used to have the stacking thing. Like my brother did it all the time when they changed it to like Ultimate and stuff. I feel like Microsoft can take the hit, whereas Sony can't take the hit. They'd have to be like, no, this is what you're getting. Like the conversion chart is just crazy. It's like 1 month PS Plus gets you 31 of days of Essential, 21 days of Extra, 17 days of Premium, and that goes on for the 3rd, the 12, and then the PlayStation Now voucher conversions. It's a bit crazy that you need to go and look at this table. I feel like this is going to confuse people who aren't in the know about this. Like, say you bought this for someone for Christmas and they get it, and they're like, "What? Wait, why am I only on the 17 days now? What's going on?" So it's a little confusing. In regards to the games coming on it actually made me a little bit. I know they're not like the biggest, most renowned games, but it made me kind of excited and remembering like all the random games that I've forgotten about on PlayStation. Like I did play Tekken a little bit. Hell yes to Mr. Driller. Like I'd play that. Worms. I love playing Worms. I didn't think I was gonna get the premium tier, but I kind of think I will. If like this is just like what 5-6 games that got leaked. There's like gonna be like hundreds of old games on it. Like imagine what ones I'm just forgetting about. If they had, we never did like what our ideal games would be. I don't know if you've ever played Crash Bash, the Crash Bandicoot mini game.
I haven't, but I've seen videos.
Oh my god, Mark, I loved that game when I was younger. It was my favorite game. If they had that, pure nostalgia going back to that. So that was cool. That kind of reminded me, and I'm like, maybe I will get the premium tier. And then I think for me the big one was the demos because there's like a lot to it. It was like they have to be at least 2 hours long. Everybody over 30, every game over $34 has to have one that's that. And I feel like they did that because they're like, what indie game is over $34? But there is a couple. And my first thought, being a Resident Evil fan, was like, if you know what you're doing in Resident Evil 2 remake, like 3 remake, you can complete that in like an hour or something. You could just play the demo and complete it. But then a couple of other things, like, is this going to include trophies? I don't think it would, but is it?
Demo trophies?
Yeah, demo trophy. Oh man, trophy hunters would be like, yep.
Hey, I'll take demo trophies over co-op trophies. Because
Or
I have
online
no
trophies.
friends. Exactly.
Yeah, they're annoying. But yep, there's honestly loads to that. Like I think there's a 3-month window in where you can do the demo. As people have noted, it takes time in development. I feel like smaller like double A studios would wait to like the last day to be like, okay, here's our demo, to try and squeeze as much money as they can out of that initial release as possible, because that's where I'd say their main sales are going to be in that first quarter of their release. Yeah, there's so much to it, but all that it's like a bit iffy with, especially I think double A developers, because they would be around that price range. About like I'd say $40 in America. Like someone like Bloober Team, who did the Medium and Layers of Fear and all that. But I think it's fantastic for like us as consumers, because what if there was a game you were on the fence about, but it was getting good reviews and you bought it? Like say this was, I don't know, like a Dark Souls game, or Elden Ring, it just came out. You did a 2-hour demo and you're like, yeah, that's not for me. That's just saved you like $60 or $70. Because you got to play that demo and see that, yeah, actually that wasn't for me. And that's just one game. Like if you did that with 2 loads of games. So I actually think it's beneficial to us. Probably not so the developers. But yeah, interested to hear your thoughts, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the stacking thing, it's odd. Like the first thing I thought of, like my sister Megan knows nothing of tech. Like she hates it, and she's like, "Why are people interested in this?" And I'm like, "Well, why are you interested in your $1,000 Coach bag?" She's not going to listen to it, so I'm calling you out. But man, if she does, I am screwed big time. I
don't know what
you,
her
Megan.
birthday is.
Yeah, like. So I'm like, man. So imagine like my nephew Liam bought the PlayStation card, and he's trying to like add it, and they think like he's stacking and getting denied, and then it's odd. Like the first thing I thought of, like, man, I'm gonna get such a headache from my sister. It's true. So, and it's like I feel bad for like store realtors. Like, imagine if you bought this at Target, And it's like, imagine returning a gift card that you scratched out. It's like, I'm pretty sure you can't return that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
No, so imagine that headache, and it's like, you're right, Jessica. Like, Microsoft can take the hit. Like, of course, like they just bought Activision for like how many dollars?
Billions and billions.
Yep.
So just like that, I'm like, okay, that's not something that we want to hear before June. And I just looked at the dates.
Yeah.
And that's gonna like transition to like the games. So Japan is launching it first on June 1st, and this is targeting, and anything can change. So the Americas, that's what it said in the PlayStation blog, which I like it. It sounds like a club, like, ooh, the Americas. Or just like a one-hit wonder 90s girl band.
Yeah, that's definitely what it sounds like. The Americas.
The Americas. Like, so that's June 13th, so just a little more of a month. And we heard about some games like Spider-Man Morales, like basically like the PlayStation 4/5 games.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the full list.
Yeah.
Or at least something more than, I don't know, 20.
Yeah, they released this conversion chart first before the actual game list. Yeah.
No one's going to be like looking at the conversion chart like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like, let's go.
You're like, who cares about these games? We're not gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although maybe they are, not for everyone, but maybe they are like finalizing deals with the classic stuff. Like a bunch of those ones that got leaked were like Bandai Namco stuff. So they're probably just finalizing stuff with Bandai Namco. But yeah, would absolutely love a list of what's actually going to be there.
And you're right. And I'm not saying like the full list all at once. Kind of like, remember before Disney Plus, like a month or two, like the whole, like, this will be here day one. It was just like every single movie. I'm not expecting anything like that.
Yeah.
Granted, that's different because they're all Disney / 20th Century Fox. But give me like just a taste. Like, I'm already in. The premium, I don't know. And these games, granted, they're leaked. They're not from PlayStation. Like, PlayStation's not really going to drive up the hype of like, hey, okay, maybe they're going to drive up the hype of you, Jessica, Mr. Joer. But I'm like, oh,
yeah,
cool. But like, you gotta be like, all right, like, how can you excite people with that premium tier? And then that transitions to the demos. So, and I'm like, oh yeah, like games are now going to be like $69, $75, really. So these big AAA studios, like, they can take that hit. And I feel like indie wise, like, I'm like Kena, Bridge of Spirits, that's $40. Like, they can have a demo, and how they kind of describe it, it's not like, hey, this is 2 hours of a game. They can like really like customize it, like, hey, here's this level, or this is like the gameplay. Like, I don't know exactly if it has to be 2 hours. At minimum, I feel like they could.
They did say it. Well, this is all rumors, but it was like a demo needs to last at least 2 hours. But you're right, that could be like they limit you within 2 hours within like an arena, you know?
Exactly. Like, it can be like that, and like some of the enemies, and it all depends on what kind of game. Like Guardians, for example, it would just probably be that first mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think of like the best demo that I've ever played was Rise of the Tomb Raider. I wasn't a Tomb Raider guy, never saw the movies, never played the old games, never even played that new game before that. So I'm like, oh, it's a demo, and it was January, so it was still that Xbox sale for the holidays. So I'm playing the first level. I'm like, oh, wow, this is a good game. You're escaping the tomb. You're going, you see like the sunlight, and you jump, and it's like, your demo is now ended. Would you like to buy this game? And I'm like, yes. Take it, Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's the opposite. They should like, yeah, I'll definitely be playing this. Yeah.
So I feel like, honestly, like, I don't know how developers feel entirely about like demos, because I feel like if you can make a good demo, you can get like, I had no interest in a Tomb Raider game, but that demo, I was like, I can pay full price. You don't have to give me a sale. I'm cool. I was an idiot back then, but hey.
No, that's exactly it. That's the opposite. There's the one where you're like, that wasn't for me. I've saved $60, but like, how many games are you gonna play 2 hours ago and go, hell yeah, that was awesome? Like, my time of demos, like except for like PS1 when you got with magazines and stuff, was the 360 had a couple of demos, and I loved it. I played a demo of Too Human, bought it because I liked it. Like, it wasn't the greatest game ever, but I liked playing it, so they got my money.
Nintendo Switch, they have demos.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
I played Metroid demo. There's the Triangle Strategy demo I'm going to play, and then like I'll decide whether I want to play off that. If it didn't have the
Kirby
demo, I definitely wouldn't. Yeah, Kirby demo, exactly.
And while I didn't buy the game immediately, like I wish they had like a feature of like, hey, can I just bookmark it? Like, I like it. I don't want to buy it now, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah, favorite this game, yeah.
It's like seeing a good trailer. And it's like, all right, I'm not going to see it in theaters, but hey, I'll give you money in the future.
Yeah. Shut up and take my money in the future.
I don't know why my consumer relationship just sounds so creepy. Like, oh yeah, I got you. Hey, I got you.
I don't know either. Yeah.
I don't know why, but so, and Noah, I want to ask you, like, I know you don't have Game Pass now, but do you remember the first time you got Game Pass?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Like what year exactly?
It would have been 2021 sometime.
Okay, so maybe this wasn't the right question because I remember like 2018, like I got the Game Pass, and it definitely wasn't like how it was now. And I feel like PlayStation is coming into a disadvantage because this, I don't want to say market because Xbox is this market. I know Nintendo Switch Online has something, but that's, I don't want to say completely different, but yeah. Because it focuses on all the retro. But this Xbox, I feel like end of 2020, that was like, all right, this is like, Noah, I'm going to appease you with your Pokemon. They reached their final evolution. Did I get that right?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll take it. So they reach like, okay, they reached their max peak, and nearly 2 years later, all eyes are on PlayStation. Like, I wonder, like, I don't want to be like pessimistic and just say like how rough this launch is going to be, but is it going to be okay, or is it going to be like, oh, that's not good?
Yeah, because I mean, everybody, even if you don't want to, you're comparing it to Game Pass, who you have they started off small. Game Pass wasn't awesome when it first started. It kind of just like, it tumbled into getting, because as people like to say, like, they do have exclusives, but they're not exactly exclusives that maybe you'd want to play. It's a lot of Gears of War and Halo, and if you're just not into that, you're not into that. They only recently got Bethesda and the Activision titles and everything. But what they started to do was get really good third-party support. So like popular games coming in soon after launch, like what we've got now, Guardians of the Galaxy, Life is Strange, True Colors, all these indie games hitting day one, like Tunic, Trek to Yomi, Norco, Chinatown Detective Agency, and like Outriders came day one, that sort of stuff. Like The Descent came day one. Like, yeah, that'll come to PlayStation eventually. I feel like that'll be good for developers if PlayStation really want to put the time behind courting that support from third-party developers, because they can only get more money from this. If you're like, well, Microsoft says they'll give me this for the game, or like, well, Sony says they'll give me this. I feel like it's going to be good for them because the Xbox Game Pass wouldn't have a monopoly anymore. They wouldn't be like, if you want your indie game to get seen, you have to be on Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. They had pretty good with those monthly free games, like Bugsnax.
Woo!
Exactly.
Thank you for appeasing me.
So yeah, I think it'll be good for developers if PlayStation put the effort behind it, which it seems like this is an effort, but that they're doing the usual PlayStation not going about it the awesome way to begin with, but it could grow into something like really cool, like Game Pass is at the moment.
Exactly. I feel like no one should want PlayStation Plus to fail.
Yeah.
Because if they're successful, then Xbox Game Pass is like, all right, we see you. We're going to make ours even better.
Unbelievably.
But like, even like, It's like we got pre-day one Starfield, and it's in June. It's like, what?
They actually did that with Forza. They had like, well, to be fair, that's not Game Pass, but you're right. They could put that on the Game Pass. Like, you don't need to pay just because you're playing on Game Pass. You get it a little earlier. Yeah.
I messed up with the Jedi Fallen Order 2 coming next month, but that would be like ultimate Xbox. It's like, hey, this game that hasn't even been announced. Here you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, what's this transition? Yeah, we're getting back to bad form right here. So actually, it's funny that we talked about, I forget the context of why, but we were talking about Fallen Order 2. Because Noah, do you know when Star Wars Celebration is off the top of your head?
Isn't it usually May 4th? Because May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, but I feel like they like sometimes have it in like June or.
Yeah, this year it's the 26th to the 29th of May.
Yeah, they want to do it around when Obi-Wan comes out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a day after Obi-Wan comes out.
Granted, at least we're getting 2 episodes that day, but
yeah.
I mean, technically, May 4th is a Star Wars celebration.
It is indeed.
So, reportedly, Respawn's Entertainment Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel is going to come out next year. And not only that, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, I'm sorry, we're skipping you. They're going exclusively next gen. This is all reportedly, but according to Jeff Grubb from the Ventured Beats, he claims that EA and Respawn have initially aiming to launch this game later this year, but those plans have changed, and the game is, quote, is for sure now not coming out until 2023. So, Noah, you're my Jedi. You are the creator of Darth Cannabis. What's your thoughts?
So I'm not surprised that I've talked about Fallen Order on the show before. So one of my predictions, and we made those predictions, is one Star Wars game by the end of the year, and it sounds like that's not this one, but I think there is one coming out. There's Lego Star Wars, which came out.
I was gonna say, does that technically count? I don't know your full prediction, but a Star Wars game came out.
Yeah, like I come in a way, I already got it right. So
I'll be checking at the end of the year. I'll be checking.
I'm sorry, Jessica. Don't be bitter because Uncharted didn't get 80%.
I am bitter. Stop bringing that up.
I wasn't on that episode. I'm like, Granted, I would have like no hot takes. I'm like, Sony is gonna buy a studio.
Yeah, I tried really hard with my hot takes, to be fair.
And it's like, what studio? I'm like, a studio. Is that the name of the studio? No, it's just like
Mark, get off the podcast. Yeah, no.
Kyle's like, all right, Mark, bye. But Jessica, Jedi Jessica. Okay, that could be your nickname.
Thanks, I'll take it.
I mean, it's not like, okay, Dark One Jessica.
Dark One Jessica. It's no Darth Cannabis, that's for sure.
Doc Orr.
Noah, are you actually, before we jump onto me, are you happy it got delayed? Because it probably would have came out at the end of the year, like that Starfield time.
Well, I wouldn't say happy. I want it to be good. If it's going to take a bit longer, then that's fine with me. And also, I hope that the reason for it is they've been listening to our podcast. They've heard my suggestions.
Of course they have. Yeah. That and your exes.
Yeah.
They're going to add them all in. Watch out.
EAEXs.
Right. And, this way we don't have to play it at the same time as Starfield. So, yeah, there's that.
That leads me into my first thought when I heard this. I wonder when it is coming out in 2023, because I was like, yay, more time to play Forspoken, Gotham Knights, Pokemon, Starfield, cool. But then I started to think about all the games that have been delayed until either spring 2023 or just an unannounced date. And it could be Fallen Order sequel, Breath of the Wild sequel, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, The Witcher 3 next gen patch could be next year. God of War could potentially get delayed. Who knows about Starfield? Like, what? We're not going to be able to sleep from December 2022 to May 2023, if these do all release in that window, like they're massive games. So that was honestly my first thought. It was like kind of okay, more time to play these games, but God, when is it actually releasing? Is it going to release with a big game, another big game?
Jessica, I'm going to give you some melatonin truth. The games that have been delayed to 2023, half of them will be 2024.
Well, and I'm really glad. Hopefully they're not all in spring 2024 as well. I mean, this year was a lot.
Oh God. That was my wallet. My wallet took a hard hit.
Yeah.
A sportsbook gambling came to mobile devices in New York. Elden Ring, Horizon.
I like that was your first pick.
Elden Ring?
No, the other one, the gambling one.
Oh, definitely. That's been my
yeah.
This is not KeenGamer. But no joke, I would love Keen Sports.
Keen Sports?
Keen Sports?
I'd have to sit on that one, sorry.
I know, because I feel like you would be mad because I'm like, yeah, soccer, and you're like, it's football.
Yeah, that's what I sound like. It's football.
Well, that's how I sound like when I say football. Yet
My
again,
other
that's not how...
Anyway, Jedi
Fallen Order. I was gonna come back to that. Don't worry.
The other thing with this article I wanted to mention was that it said that they're dropping the Fallen Order name, and I wonder if that's because it's a spoiler, but like the Breath of the Wild sequel doesn't have a title because it's a spoiler. That like Nintendo have said that. I wonder if this is because like that's people just call it Fallen Order, you know? So I wonder what they're just gonna keep the Jedi name, like Star Wars Jedi, whatever's next. That's interesting to me, the other thing that came out of this.
You know what's interesting? Like, so when people talk about like, oh, like Star Wars Jedi, they don't call it like that. It's Fallen Order.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird that they're changing the name.
Because I was a little confused. I'm like, wait, what do you mean like changing the game? I mean, that would be crazy if they're like Star Trek Fallen Order. Like, wait, whoa, what? No, but it's more of like, well, okay, is the Fallen Order gonna get dropped, or is it gonna be like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Darth Cannabis?
No, because it didn't even say. I mean, this is rumors, but it didn't even say like a subtitle. It just said like they're dropping the Fallen Order name, or maybe they meant dropping the Star. They're just gonna call it. Nah, they wouldn't do that. Let's get rid of the Star Wars and just have Fallen Order. That seems like real bad marketing. Yeah, Wars.
Come on.
Wars Order.
Stars.
So I'm really, really interested to see what it's actually going to be called and whether they'll give us a trailer at E3 or whatever E3 is going to be this year, you know?
And I saw like...
Or Star Wars Day, sorry.
Actually, that could probably like an announcement trailer.
Yeah.
I can see that. And probably like one other Star Wars gaming thing.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of them.
Now
3 at EA, including this, a Ubisoft one, the Quantic Dream one, and I swear I'm forgetting one as well.
I know this should probably be
the KOTOR remake, like so many.
Honestly, no joke. I feel like one of these like beginning of June, we should have like a Star Wars Celebration recap. Feel like there's going to be a lot. No joke.
That would be
a little bit of a joke, but yeah.
Just talk about Star Wars. Yeah.
Gonna bring out my lightsaber that my dog chewed.
Oh no.
Not cool. But and then I saw like something else like, hey, maybe Cal won't be the protagonist. But I think that's like a heavy rumor. Is like, okay, so you're gonna focus on someone else. Is he gonna be in the game? But it's like they haven't even officially announced this yet. So I'm like, all right, let's like this story, like I could definitely like see that, especially like exclusively, and I do like it's going to be on new gen. So I'm imagining this is like November 2023 in my head, not like spring. Granted, the PlayStation 5 stock will still be limited, but I feel like by that time people will have that system. Because I feel like God of War, I think they announced this, will also be on PlayStation 4.
Yes, I believe you're right. Yeah.
And it's not like a bad thing, because Horizon, I think so far this year, is the most breathtaking game in terms of like art style and
Mm-hmm.
visuals. So nothing like that, but it's like, what can you do with an exclusive next gen? That's going to be really cool. Because I
Yeah.
keep forgetting how gorgeous and just how I don't know, it's not accurate, but just how like Star Wars, like
No, you're right. The environments are like just really alien in places, and that's one of my favorite parts about Star Wars games, and especially Fallen Order. It was one of my favorite parts of just exploring these alien environments. Guardians of the Galaxy actually really reminded me of that. They did that really well too,
they
like
did.
being in, like seeing an alien plant life. Like they even had the little plants you could have on the ship in Fallen Order. You're right, seeing that just in next gen because it looked incredible. I played it on the Xbox One, which is slightly less than the pros and all, and the S's. It looked gorgeous. I loved it. So just having it next gen, and granted, we have next gen consoles and we will be able to play it. But you're right. Hopefully, if it did come out later, more people can get their hands on Xbox One and PlayStation 5s, and really excited for the look of it. Yeah.
And just like also like I don't know if they have it with Xbox. I feel like they're trying to develop a DualSense controller.
There was a survey out basically asking people, "Do you want this?"
Yeah.
Yes. Of course. I was like, "Yeah, please." I'd love it if they did that because that is one of the defining features that I love about the PS5, the DualSense.
Because even with like Guardians, and you like that game reminded me so much. I'm like, man, if I wasn't reviewing this, like I want to jump back into Fallen Order because it reminded me so much of that, and just like how the DualSense reacted with Guardians. Like, could you imagine how it would feel with like a lightsaber and like the Force
really cool.
combat? So I'm like, ooh, I'm giddy.
Yeah, Returnal had like this cool weapon that almost looked like a lightsaber, and the sound that came out of the controller as well, and the vibrations, like that's the closest I've got so far. It was one of the best parts. So yeah, please.
By the way, I cannot wait to play Returnal next month.
You're gonna play Returnal next month?
Well, yeah, it's going to be on the PlayStation Plus.
Ah, that's right. Oh yeah, okay. I forgot it wasn't on actual PlayStation Plus. Yeah, I'll mark it such a
the
good
new
game.
one. That's why, because Kyle, you've been talking about it, and now I'm playing like more roguelike games. Not that I was like dismissive. I was just like, there's just so much.
Yeah.
But getting this genre, I'm like, okay.
It was a whole like I'd never played like a 3D roguelike before as well. So I think that just made it a little bit better for me anyway. Oh god, it's so good.
All right. So that ends our news conversations, and we will be going on to the main topic. So, in honor of Isle of Bigsnax, love you, bunger, we'll be talking about our personal favorite DLCs. We all have 3 DLCs that we've picked. And before we jump in to Noah's, so I'm like, what is really a DLC? And it's like, this is not like philosophy. This is not like a Noah essay.
Okay, then it's downloadable content.
Yes. Jessica, let me finish. Even though I'll just say something stupid. But it's like, okay, is an expansion also a DLC? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want to clarify because like I feel like 2 out of my 3 are expansions. And I'm just gonna say up one, like if you guys have not said my number 1, I'll be shocked.
Well, I didn't pick one because I thought somebody would go for it, so maybe.
Well,
you're gonna be shook.
Am I so cool? I feel like I need like a skateboard like Steve Buscemi in 30 Rock.
I'll send you one on your Christmas list, Mark.
But you have the Bunger toy all to yourself.
I do. Well, no, Baby Yoda has the Bunger toy all to himself. Little
you know what'll make me feel better? Hearing Noah's number 3. Noah, what's your third favorite DLC?
So for my third favorite, I'm just gonna do a collection. I very, very much enjoy the Fallout 3 DLCs. Like at that era, like Jessica and I were talking a few shows ago, or maybe last show, about what is it that people just love about Fallout 3 for some reason. And so, like, to sum it up in one word, I'd have to say it's the simplicity. things that kind of extend from that. It's like that engine works so well because it's in that era where it doesn't take itself so seriously, and it also just doesn't need to, like, because you go into it understanding it's not that advanced a game. You go into it thinking that, like, not expecting that, and being okay with it being a bit humorous at times, sometimes things feeling experimental, which is really why I like these DLCs. They really were experiments. It was Bethesda experimenting with this new idea, like DLC that you download over the internet, or maybe at that time it'd be more common to go into GameStop and get that little disc they'd give you for $15 or $20. Yeah, so there were 5 for Fallout 3. It's in chronological order, and they're Operation Anchorage, The Pit, Broken Steel, and Point Lookout, and Mothership Zeta. So the only one that I have a complaint about is Broken Steel, because for those who don't know, in the original Fallout 3, the game ends after the main quest line. Like, it ends there, and you need Broken Steel to keep playing. So that kind of was dirty right there, making us buy the DLC to keep playing. So yeah, and they're all formatted slightly differently, but it's kind of like how I talk about the TAC games. They all follow this slightly different format because they were experimenting. They were like, okay, let's see how they respond to this. Do they like this simulation where we essentially try to incarnate a Call of Duty campaign into Bethesda? And we did. We liked it, and it's very fun. It's a great way to show us something in Fallout history that we wouldn't normally get to see. Then they were like, okay, well, they like this setup where you go see a city, but it's not like a huge map. You just have this like urban expansion with a linear quest line, and we liked that too. That was The Pit. Then Broken Steel was just extending the main quest line. It also extended the level cap, added some perks. So yeah, like we went for that. But I mean, like, it, and the story was good, but you made us get another DLC to keep playing. Come on, Todd. Yep, then there's Point Lookout. That's the more traditional landmass expansion with a main quest line and side quests. One thing I'll say I really like about Point Lookout is that main quest, like I was saying, it doesn't take itself so seriously. It's just a simple story about 2 Old War rivals. It doesn't have this existential crisis at the end. It's just this bitter resentment thing. Then Mothership Zeta is like an escape room on an alien ship. That one I'm not a huge fan of myself, but a lot of people really liked that.
That's
so
my favorite
that's
one.
the Fallout 3 DLC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I had a feeling you were going to pick them.
Yeah,
I actually forgot about a bunch of them. I only could remember Anchorage and Mothership Zeta. I was like, what, 12 when Mothership Zeta came out? So I was like, oh man, I love this. Right. Aliens and Fallout.
Why not?
Yeah.
All right. Jessica, what's your number 3 favorite DLC?
Sticking with like the 360 era. I feel like this is like the era of DLC. Like, you're right, no, like everyone was like, it just was coming out. Yeah, people were complaining about Oblivion's horse armor, but you also got like really good story stuff from like Fallout 3. And for me, one of my favorite games on the 360, this is, apart from Halo 3, which I've played, I think it said I played 1,000 hours of Halo 3. Clearly didn't have anything else to do, was Dragon Age Origins. It's a single player game, and I played it so much. I think it was like 500 hours or something by the end of it. And it had an expansion when people had just started to do expansions, and it was called Dragon Age Origins Awakening. And it is basically just like a mini Dragon Age game. Like, you can import your Grey Warden character. And what's really interesting is, even just thinking about this, I was like, I want to play Dragon Age Origins Awakening again. So I had to buy it again because for some reason my Microsoft's account, it doesn't count on the Series X. I had to actually just buy it again, even though I know I have it on that account, which is kind of annoying. But, I did it because it's Dragon Age. You can import your character, which I always did. I've never just done a new character. I thought it would just create a story for you from the game. and then carry it over. You're actually playing as it's a Grey Warden in it. You're playing as a new Grey Warden from an area called Orlais. So everyone's actually giving you different dialogue, which I never knew. I never did this. So it was really cool playing it today. And everyone talked to me like I was an Orlesian Grey Warden, which is really interesting because they occupied Ferelden, the main area in Dragon Age Origins, for like 100 years. So like basically everyone hates you. So it's very different from importing a character where you're the hero of Ferelden and everyone loves you to dirty Orlesian, you know. And I feel like that sums up why I love Dragon Age Origins, just full stop, so much. There really is just so much choice in it. Like Mass Effect gets cited as a game that has lots of consequences to its actions. Dragon Age Origins, I think, has even more. Like, it's crazy all the dialogue changes you get from it. It's so cool. And Awakening is where Anders was introduced. You get a couple of companions: Anders, Oghren, Nathaniel, Sigrun, and Valena. But Anders was like the beloved. It's kind of like Alistair from the first one, who everyone loves. Like, he was the romance option. Anders kind of took that over in Dragon Age Awakening. He ended up going into 2, but he kind of turned like a bit emo. So this is, if you ever played 2 and you've never seen this, it's not the same Anders. He's jokey, he's funny. They have in this, they started you can give your companions gifts to start a romantic relationship. Dragon Age Origins Awakening is like a mini 5 to 10 hour campaign, I'd say, depending on how much you want to do. The DLC that actually wasn't even that much when it came out, and I guess it's $7.99 now on Xbox anyway. And I feel like if you're a Dragon Age 2 fan and you never played this, you probably should, to see what Anders was like before he turned emo. So highly recommended to any Dragon Age fans. You just get a whole new story and you don't even need to import your character to play it.
Love it. All right, going on to my number 3. So you guys are totally right. Like that 360 PS3 era, and maybe because it was just, the internet, like DLC, but you know who was always resistant? Nintendo. And I feel like before my number 3 pick, like they had a couple, some like maybe one big one, but I feel when they announced, hey, Mario Kart 8, you know who's coming? Link. Animal Crossing. And it blew our minds. And they're like, oh yeah, here's this Audi free update thing. You get Audi cars, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Zelda characters and Animal Crossing characters coming together in Mario Kart. And I swear, when that announcement came, that just brought in whole new life in everything. And I know they really haven't, like, now everyone's like, oh, great, Super Smash Kart. And they're like, no, Dry Bones. So it's like, okay. But just playing, like, it's not like, oh, we just added, like, a Zelda character, like Link and all that. Like, no, they went all out. No coins, rupees. The environment is beautiful. Animal Crossing, you go through all the seasons. Like, that's some good stuff. So
yeah, it took Nintendo a while, but when they did it, it was good.
Yeah, it was okay. It was worth the wait. Still mad I didn't get a Super Mario Odyssey Sunshine pack, but hey, I'm cool, Miyamoto. Oh my god, we should have talked about how the Mario movie got delayed.
This is Miyamoto.
Next year. Yeah. Oh my, we were complaining about how there's like little news, but that was the main news.
We should have. Yeah, we should have had a whole 40-minute conversation on that one sentence. Was it Miyamoto? Is he being held hostage? What is the movie like?
Exactly. It's so yeah, that relates to my DLC.
I totally missed when Mario Kart did this, because kind of like that Wii U just before Switch released. Like, I didn't get a Switch for like a year after it released. I kind of missed what they were doing with Mario Kart, even though it was one of my favorites. So when I came back to it, it was just, oh cool, like Link's here and and Animal Crossing stuff. Like, it was just kind of there for me. I didn't get like a hype around it.
Well, I've never heard that from a gamer. I didn't know the Wii U.
I did have a Wii U in my cupboard. So
yeah,
Yeah.
It's in a box somewhere. You can't see in the background because it's,
That's on
not
me more than the
relevant.
Wii U, though. I'm not here to slag off the Wii U. I was just very busy at that time, and the PS4 was there for me.
It was very pissy. I don't want to analyze what happened in your life, but I'm just curious of like, man, you took it out on Mario and Zelda of the world, and you're like, PlayStation 4. I want to go to Joe and Ellie.
Yeah,
I
that
want
was
to go to Nathan Drake. I want some
comforting.
mature stuff in my life.
No,
Mario,
it was
Luigi.
because it was the last console I got, Mark, so it was always a hassle. I only had 2 HDMI ports. It was PlayStation, Xbox, and when I wanted to play the Wii U, I had to switch everything around. Nah, I just kept it
Not on my watch.
in.
But
No offense, Wii U. Remember, you can't take offense. I said no
hey,
offense.
hey, listen, Nintendo. You made a huge comeback with the Switch, so everyone
Exactly.
loves you.
Mhm.
Maybe not from the Mario movie. It's not really a hot take, but hey. All right. So we're not here to slander Jessica's disdain for taking out the Wii U. We're here to talk about Noah's number 2 favorite DLC. Noah, what's your number 2?
So for my number 2, I'm going to say Dragonborn, the final Skyrim DLC. So I I think with those expansions like Point Lookout, and really that started with Blood Moon, and then Dragonborn is really just a throwback to Blood Moon and the rest of Morrowinds. They decided this is really the best way to do it. Is they really like this landmass expansion, and islands really work well for that. So they decided, you know what, let's do a Blood Moon throwback, send them back to Solstheim. I mean, Skyrim's right here, and it worked out great. Like if that for me, that I played that long before I played Morrowind, so that was my first big exposure to how rich the Dunmer culture really is, and then walking through the ashes, those forests, and I really liked it, and that's a big part of why I wanted to get into Morrowinds, because of how rich that culture and how rich that setting is. So yeah, and the main quest line for that is okay. It's a little simple, but it has so many great side quests that you're like, I play it for the side quests. I don't do it so that I can be a Mirak again. Yeah, so yeah, Dragonborn for Skyrim is definitely one of my favorite DLCs.
I love that pick. Dragonborn was awesome. Like, yeah, basically you're fighting an evil you. Like, to put it simple, am I wrong here?
Yeah, the idea is it's an evil Dragonborn.
Exactly. But again, like the whole environment, the side quest, and you can ride a dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my money. Take it. Love that pick, Noah. I can't wait to hear your number 1 because I'm like, could it be number 1? Yeah. But Jessica, what is your number 2 favorite DLC?
Yeah, I'll keep this one real quick, actually, because I feel like everybody knows this DLC. It's the Mass Effect Citadel DLC from Mass Effect 3. It's basically fan service, the DLC, which is it's kind of like fan service done right. You're going into the big mission of actually finally defeating or going against the Reapers and their invasion of the galaxy, and you have this really ridiculous, for anyone that's never played, plot of like chasing after your clone, basically your evil clone. You get to go to like casinos, all different places of the Citadel. That's why it's called Citadel. It's just this whole new fancy everything. But the best bit about it is everybody remembers is the party at the end where all of your surviving companions are there. You get to mingle and talk to people, and if you have a romance going on, you have a funny scene with them waking up the next day. Even if you don't have a romance going on, you have a funny scene waking up with them the next day. If you've got Javik, the Prothean, who you woke up and you're not in a relationship, it's like if you meet certain things, you can wake up with Javik the next day and you're both like, let's never talk about this. It's so funny. It's so awesome. I won't spend too long on it, but if you've never played it, you need to play, or at least watch. There's so many clips out there on YouTube of all the different variations. Again, the choices and consequences you can do in BioWare games. It's so funny. It's really fun. And again, so much stuff you can do on it.
All right. Since you said keep it brief, I'll respect that. I will. Okay, I'll also keep mine brief. So remember
You
how I
don't
said
have
like
to.
it's
I was
my.
like, everyone knows Citadel. It's fine.
But I was about to say like I'll go on forever, and I'll be like 3 minutes of like yeah. So Noah, no. So regarding the whole expansion DLC, I'm like, you know what? This is DLC. This is expansion to the game. Guess what, Jessica? Cover your ears. We're going back to the Wii U.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Wow, I'm so dramatic.
Yeah, I'm going back to the Wii.
Mm-hmm. So I was about to like lead into it. It's new. God, how can I explain this? So this game, I should know. I'm just killing time. Okay, new Super Luigi U. I'm like, oh, is it new Luigi U? Wow, my number 2 and I can't even get the title right. That's why I wanted to.
It's Nintendo's fault.
Yeah. You know what? You're right, Jessica. Screw you, Wii U.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, it's on record. Noah, you got me. But the whole new Super Mario Brothers like series of sort of DS, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. And then it was like we talked about how Assassin's Creed came out every year, but at least it was like a little different. This one, like the new Super Mario like Brothers series, was just like just a little bit different, but it was like the same thing, the same thing. And then like that breaking point when it got to the Wii U, and we were like, all right, no, sorry, we're done. And Nintendo's like, Luigi. And we were like, what? That's right. Year for Luigi happened. This came out during that fantastic year, a year I'll never forget, except the name of the game. And it wasn't like, oh, Luigi is the character. I'm like, no, like the levels were creative. They were much harder. The time was like the like 90 seconds. It's like, oh God, like Nambit, you can play as they. I don't know the gender. It's gender neutral. You can play as they. And all these like things. And I'm like, wow, this game is so much better than the Wii U Super Mario. And it's like, man, if they only had the same passion for Luigi than Mario, well, I feel like this would have been like a great game in the style of that for the Switch. But they just came out with both of them together, and it was just okay.
Yeah.
But
you want Year of Luigi Part 2?
I want, yes. Oh, I want another year of Luigi. I want a year of Wario. I want a year of Peach. She deserves to shine.
Basically, get out of here, Mario, for a little bit.
I respect the Chinese New Year. I want my own New Year. Mario New Year, and it's like Year of Bowser.
Year of Bowser, yeah. Nintendo really could do this. Just swap it about. The
They already did. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, we got a game, and we're just gonna put like little Bowser stuff, and we'll do like a Mario Party. Yeah, that's okay. And I'll be like, okay, woo. Just do that. And okay, yeah, I also want like Year for Luigi, but it's like it wasn't like, okay, we're just having Luigi, a new character. Like they made the levels creative, they made it harder, challenging, they changed it. And it was so much fun. But oh well. So Noah, I really thought Dragonborn would have been your first. I know you got a haircut. I don't know your number 1. So please tell us what's your number 1.
So my number 1 is going to be Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC. You were very close, assuming it'd be Dragonborn. It's the Fallout equivalent of that. So Far Harbor is so brilliant because like the narrative is so good. Like it's very much a point lookout, a throwback kind of a little bit. if you've seen my video covering the secret identity of the Mother of the Fog for the Point Lookout, that's a good one. That's on my YouTube. So yeah, it has all those mysteries, like that one, like what's causing the fog to get worse. It, and these, it's all just so intricately woven together as well. Like you find some holotape on one side of the island, and it mentions a character that you can find somewhere. Like and through all this exploring, you can kind of put together a story. Like, okay, so this talking super mutant came over with these guys who were in the Vim factory, and then he gained intelligence and moved out. Like it's really just all so brilliant, and the settings terrific. And for those who don't know, like yeah, Fallout's all real. Well, not all, but mostly based on real places. Far Harbor it's called Mount Desert Island in the real world. They never call it that with words in the actual DLC, but I believe there are signs that say Mount Desert Islands. So yeah, it's off the coast of Maine. It's the perfect size for that landmass expansion type of DLC too. And one of the reasons that a lot of big fans are very excited about Starfield is that Will Shen is being given the role of lead quest designer. So he was the lead quest designer for Far Harbor. So he was one of the guys responsible for making sure that everything has all these mysteries and that it's all woven together somehow, and that you tell the players just enough to make it interesting, to make them think, but not everything. So we're very excited to see what he has in store for Starfield.
I'm just disappointed I didn't guess that, but I love that pick. I totally agree with that, and I didn't know he was the lead quest designer for Starfield. So, Bill Gates, I know you're getting my money, but it's like, ooh, you're really getting my money.
Yeah.
Jessica, what is your all-time #1 DLC?
My all-time #1 DLC is, I feel like I'm a little bit predictable. Like, no one goes for Bethesda. I go for BioWare and Resident Evil. And my favorite Resident Evil DLC, honestly, I don't know how other people feel about this because I kind of played it in a vacuum. I wasn't really on the internet all that much whenever this came out. It's Resident Evil 7's DLC, and they've had really cool ones like Not a Hero was the free Chris Redfield DLC where you got to play as Chris, and it was pretty cool, and it's free. Like, you got a little chunk of the game in like the mines and the labs. They had something called banned footage, which was like these little mini games, little mini stories. You had like an escape room. You had like a deadly game of 21 Bus with Lucas. You got like an origin story of Evelyn. But my favorite one of all was the most ridiculous one they did, and it was Resident Evil 7 End of Zoe. And it is, so last week I talked about how I only really liked the drop kicking zombies in Resident Evil 6, and I didn't think it was good that it got away from the survival horror roots, but that it wasn't a very good action game. Resident Evil 7 was like a survival horror reboot. Like, it was really good, and that's why people loved it. And this is sometimes why I think we shouldn't listen to fans all that much, though, because who would have wanted End of Zoe, which takes away all that survival horror stuff? You play as a guy called Joe Baker. He's Jack Baker's brother, so Zoe's uncle, and he's an ex-boxer. So instead of crafting ammo and weapons to try and go against the molded, you're just punching them. You are punching molded in the face, and it's not just molded, you punch alligators in the face as well, because this is the swamps of Louisiana.
Well, they deserve it.
It's Hillbilly, the DLC. And they have, instead of combining herbs or whatever in Resident Evil 7, you combine critters. So it's roadkill. You're using roadkill to heal yourself. It's ridiculous, and I cannot stress to you how much fun it is to punch a molded in the face. It is the most fun I have had in a DLC, I think, ever. I loved it. It's very rarely in a game do I just like put controller down and be like, oh my god, I love this. This is so good. But I did it with this game. Like I said, it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter if it's canon or not. Like, he's trying to save Zoe after the events of Resident Evil 7. It kind of gets a little, I remember getting stuck in a swamp. There's like just molded everywhere and trying to work out how to get through it, but it was fun to kill them while I was trying to work it out. Yeah, I really like, I think if you have Resident Evil 7, you should just play Not a Hero because it's free, but I really encourage you to buy this if you like if you just like action games. It's not survival horror at all, but it's really, 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 really fun and ridiculous.
Awesome. And wow, I am shooked. No one picked my number one, the best DLC of all time or expansion. I don't care what you call it.
What is it?
Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare?
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say no. I thought you were gonna say Last of Us Left Behind. But
that was honorable mentions. I'm like, I was gonna
yeah.
have a number 3, but honestly, like, I was thinking back, like, man, that Mario Kart 8 got me so hyped and got all my friends hyped. So that was like honorable mentions, which, oh my god, that's such a great DLC Left Behind.
Yeah.
But Undead Nightmare, oh my gosh.
I've actually never played it, Mark, so this is why I can't pick it.
Bye.
Oh no.
Bye.
Bye, Mark.
Perfect excuse to stretch. Just leaving the podcast. Noah, have you played it?
I haven't.
Oh, he's gotta go again.
Oh my gosh.
I played Red Dead. I just haven't played
You played Red Dead?
Yeah.
And you haven't played Undead Nightmare, the best DLC of all time? Mark, how about you just explain what the DLC is? Fine. So, I mean, it takes place like in the middle of Red Dead. I forget like the story point, but guess what? All of a sudden, the dead are on a rise. You are fighting zombies. This feels like a whole new game. Same mechanics. You still have the dead eye, but it's like the conversion of like trying to save your ammo. You have a limited stock, and just like hordes of zombies coming at you is great. The story is amazing. It's on PlayStation now. I don't know. You can just pause this podcast and just go download it. It's not on Game Pass. Do it. I'm not going to do it justice. Nor do I ever. But even just like the side quests, instead of like hunting bears and wolves, you know what you hunt? Sasquatch. Guys, Sasquatch. Red Dead, you have a cool horse. Okay, whatever. Red Dead, you get the 4 horses of the apocalypse.
It's pretty cool. No one told me that. Would have played it then.
Well, you were logging 1,000 hours, and I don't care what game you didn't do Undead. But, you know, that's none of my business.
Now it's my Noah's turn to gang up on you. Halo 3. Of course, that was time well spent. Of course, I needed 1,000 hours in that. Yeah.
And just all these things, like there's, of course, big changes. You're fighting zombies, how the combat works, and it's like, all right, because I don't want to say unlimited ammo, but it's just so easy to get it in Red Dead. But this one's like, oh, you got to save it. All these hordes are coming. The design is great. The sound is great. You're fighting in graveyards. All the different side quests, the whole world has changed. Like it's similar, and it's not like, oh, they added like a little thing like that and that. It's like it feels like the zombie apocalypse happened. It felt like, oh shoot, and then curse. You're John Marston and you're fighting against zombies. It's a whole different game, but similar. It's the best DLC. I'm just like a rambling idiot. That was my Bugsnax.
That's a good way to put it. Like, what's your Bugsnax?
Yeah. And honestly, and funny enough, Bugsnax is a lot more horror than Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, different subgenre.
It is. I played it recently on PlayStation Now. The only issues I had was just like the PlayStation Network itself. But that being said, it's so good. Guys, you gotta play this. Noah, have you even played Red Dead Redemption?
I don't own it, but I've seen my friends play that.
You guys are so lucky I'm so lazy that I'm not going to walk down those steps. It's It's so good.
You played End of Zoe. Yeah, that's what I thought. And you're lucky I'm too lazy to even get up and pretend.
Well, maybe I'm scared of alligators. Huh?
It's okay.
You ever thought of that?
You just punch him in the face. It's okay.
Well, the last time I punched an alligator in the face, guess what? Guess what happened to my foot? That's why you only see the top half of me. It could have been like a standing desk, but no.
Well, I will be getting... Apparently, I'm going to get the premium now because they announced 5 games on classic ones. I'm going to get premium on PlayStation Plus, so I will put Undead Nightmare at the top of my list, Mark.
Well, thank you. And you know what I forgot? You know what also you can ride? Guess what? I'm breaking out the F-bomb. A unicorn.
That was worth it, yeah. Yeah.
Guys, come on.
Wait, hold on. So that's your horse? That's a unicorn?
Yeah, I'm saving it for the unicorn. I didn't save it for Bugsnax. Keep that.
No, I mean not the F word. That's fine. I'll allow it.
There's always one in the podcast. I saved it to the end. You guys could have had it, but you know.
You've claimed it this week. No one next week. It's you. So you ride the unicorn instead of your four horses of the apocalypse?
No, I think it's the war one, and it's just the horses on fire.
Okay.
And you're riding for the night, and it's like you feel like Ghost Rider. Like the Ghost Rider before that in the Old West, but that's a Marvel thing. In the movie, he was played by Sam Neill.
Ghost Rider?
Don't fact track that. No, not Johnny Cage. Though we're not here to talk about that subpar Ghost Rider movie.
Oh, I get what you mean. Okay, sorry. I was like, wait, what? When did I miss that film? Okay.
But it's so good. To the fact that people are so mad that Undead Nightmare 2, because we're like, okay, Red Dead Redemption 2, Undead Nightmare, let's go. Nothing. Nada.
Yeah, they're making too much money from Grand Theft Auto 5 now to even care about Red Dead, apparently.
And GTA 6.
Yes, that's right.
And Red Dead Online, and it's like, even the online zombie mode that they have for Undead Nightmare, you're facing off hordes against zombies. I'll say this. I love one of the best things about the Call of Duty series is the zombie mode.
Yes. I was actually wondering what came out first. Would it have been Call of Duty?
So I think that first came out in like the Black Ops.
World at War, I think. Yeah, I'll see that.
Yeah, we are just gonna Google that.
Yeah, believe it or not, that was one of my honorable mentions, the early Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 2 DLCs.
Yeah, I mean, they're great picks. Yeah. I remember playing them. They really were. Wait, would they be classified as DLC? Oh, you mean just DLC for those games? All right, okay.
Yeah. I was like also thinking like, is the Black Ops zombies, do you guys remember, like, you want to top a unicorn? I would have broke out the F-bomb for this lineup. You could be Richard Nixon, Fidel Castro, JFK, and the other guy.
Kennedy's chief of staff, I think, or Secretary of State.
Yeah, he really is the other guy there.
Yeah.
Well remembered though, Noah. Yeah, so Call of Duty Zombies, or yes, the zombie mode in World at War came out a year before Undead Nightmare.
Okay, I know we're talking about other zombie stuff. I'm like, in that Black Ops, you can play Lose Yourself by Eminem. If that was a DLC, that would be number 2. I'm just putting Undead Nightmare ahead of that, of number 1. Man, how did this become like the zombie list?
I don't know. Zombies are awesome. Zombie games are cool. Oh, there's an idea. Favorite zombie games.
Ooh. Okay, we're just gonna pin that in October.
Yes, yeah.
So, Undead Nightmare, if you love Red Dead Redemption, you gotta play this if you haven't. Seriously, it's a ton of fun. It's aged really well. And you're John Marston fighting against zombies. Yeehaw! Pew pew! So, you correctly guessed, Jessica, my honorable mention, Left Behind from Last of Us. Any honorable mentions from you guys?
Well, but I thought of, because this is one of my favorite Uncharted games, it was Lost Legacy, but it started as a DLC and then came into its own game, so I was like, that doesn't count. But it would be my honorable mention. It's an awesome game.
Honestly, Lost Legacy, I was thinking, like, was that? I'm like, nah, that's like saying, like, Spider-Man Miles Morales is DLC.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was like, nah.
But if that is a DLC, number one, just saying.
Yeah, suddenly our whole list has changed around. But apart from that, it was Left Behind. But I kind of felt like that was too obvious. I thought you'd go for it, Mark. But that is an awesome game. It came out Valentine's Day. Do you remember?
Yes. My heart remembers.
Yeah. That was
I thought the
DLC.
heartbreak I would have is just having no one. But I guess so does Ellie.
Wow. Yeah, that's the Last of Us summed up, isn't it? Do you want to be depressed more?
You want to have a little bit of hope. You know what it is? It's like having a coffee with a little bit of that foam on top. That foam is so good, but man, that coffee, it's just all depressing.
I like.
We're not sponsored by Starbucks. We can say that.
We are not. You're right.
No, but Duncan, hit us up.
Any honorable mentions, Noah?
Yeah, so like I said, the Black Ops Zombies DLCs. So the only zombies maps I ever liked were Call of the Dead, Ascension, and Deriz, which were all added to Black Ops in DLCs. Deriz was a World at War original, but it was like a throwback DLC. And also, I want to mention in Black Ops 2, they added Nuketown 2025 for free. So that was awesome. Because they were like, people like Nuketown, like we could make a Nuketown clone, or we could just make Nuketown again. So they made Nuketown again and gave it to us for free. So yeah, that's definitely an honorable mention for me.
I actually forgot about this up until now. You just mentioned free DLC. Basically anything that Marvel's Avengers has done, but particularly War for Wakanda, like that was awesome. And that's actually totally free. Yeah, like you're right. Like you can't really complain about free DLC. Yeah. People like to, but that was an awesome time. And I like the Hawkeye stuff. And oh great, now I can't remember her name. Mark.
Kate Bishop.
Yes, Kate Bishop. I love that too. Like totally free. Yeah, you can say what you will about the game, but free story.
Spider-Man, it's free.
Yeah, he's a different story.
That's why when I remember when I was on a podcast talking about that, I'm like, but it's free.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in the best DLC, but cool that it's free.
I wouldn't put it in the worst, but it's like, but that is a great point because I feel like War for Wakanda felt like a huge expansion. Not so much of like it's a different game. Or it's like a sequel game, but it's like, man, if it was more like that game, but yet again, there's a lot of things you can fix about Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm mentioning like, speaking of superheroes, fighter packs or just any games. That slipped my mind because now I'm thinking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being in Injustice 2.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, great. That was like granted, like maybe I don't like Battle Pass because it's like you want all the Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat, $40. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
But yet again, it's like, damn, you got some good characters. I mean, you got like Red Hood, you got Starfire, but guess what? You got all 4 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a big get. You can only get one nowadays. You get all 4. It's pretty good. And they all have their own like dialogue. And it's like, I was going to say like, oh my God, Batman fighting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm like, that's been done in like comics. And it's actually a really good movie. I'm not going to lie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Need to see that.
Yeah. Recommend that. But I think Assassin's Creed also had some good DLC. You get to solve the case of Jack the Ripper.
That's cool. Was that in Syndicate?
Yep.
That's really cool, actually. I should play Syndicate.
Black Flag, I forget the character's name, but Freedom Cry, that was a good one. I'm like, oh, but that could have been its own game, but I'm not the head of Ubisoft. Thank God I'm not the head of Ubisoft. But I think that wraps everything up.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
Well, we've got the trivia question.
Son of a gun! Every time.
Did you genuinely forget? Did you? So I thought you were joking. Mark's
you know
not
how I
mentioned. No, you're the new host.
You know how I mentioned I don't know like birthdays and names and all that. I don't remember the final things of the agenda. That's why syllabus, I always forgot about the finals.
Oh, to be fair to you, Mark, again, I only just added the word trivia today, so it's kind of on me again.
Yeah, but you added like after the main topic, we do a little trivia if we feel like it, and I'm like,
yeah, you know what? You're right. It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
It is all my fault. I'll take the L. Am I right, fellow kids? But maybe I can redeem myself if I get this right. So, Jessica, what is our trivia question?
Well, just to remind everybody, the scoreboard is Noah's got 2 points. He's in the lead. Mark, you have 1.
Canon.
Scoreboard is extended universe.
Yeah, the trivia is honestly like DLC. It's an add-on. I love it. Hey, except guess what, listeners? You don't have to pay extra for this DLC.
You don't got to pay a thing. Just give us 5 stars on Spotify.
Give us 5 stars on Spotify. It really helps reach a wider audience. We love talking about this, and you get to listen for free, me getting humiliated. Isn't that what you wanted after an hour and 50 minutes?
Exactly. Right. So
anyway,
Mark, head in the game. Trivia question. Let's go.
But Black Ops Zombies, its palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
As Mark correctly predicted, I have no creativity, and my my trivia question for this week is: which of these games has never had a DLC / expansion pack released? So this is story, even like dumb little costumes, horse armor, whatever. DLC, you could download more additional content for it. So no DLC. Which game had no DLC? A, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. B, Minecraft Dungeons. C, Dead Rising, the original one. D, Luigi's Mansion 3. So Noah, I'll go to you first this week.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark knows if it's the Luigi's one, he knows. Oh no.
You don't know.
I'm not saying anything, Noah. You winner. Come on. Come on.
I think it's either A or D. So on the base. Oh no. Do I have to give my final answer now?
Yes.
Oh no.
You're in the lead. You can only change it to your draw. So, you
know. So I'm gonna go D.
D.
Good.
Luigi's Mansion.
Because I'm gonna be I'm gonna say A. I'm really sure Drake's Fortune did not have a DLC. But yet again, whoa, so that could be costumes. Yet again, they already had cheat codes. You know what? I'm going to say A. I feel like Luigi's Mansion 3 had something.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Okay, Mark went for Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Noah went for Luigi's Mansion 3. There is a correct answer. And it is A, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Sorry, Noah. So Mark 2, Noah 2, you're now drawing. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 did get like additional items in it.
I thought it was like an additional like I don't even know. I know they got something.
You would know more about it than me, but in my Googling it at least got like additional items you could use in it. Dead Rising had costumes. Future ones had way more than that, but it had costumes. Minecraft Dungeon got like story stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. All the other Uncharted, I believe, got DLC, but Drake's Fortune didn't. So I thought maybe it would trip you up with costumes. But yeah.
So that's why I was like, wait, it's like costumes. I'm like, no, you earn that in the game. Like, I think that was the one with Fat Drake.
Was it? I can't remember. It was so long ago I played it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of KeenGamer. We definitely got silly at the end. We talked about all the DLCs. Okay, not all of them.
No, we covered them all.
Not at all. Yeah, we talked about all of them. You know.
All of them. Yeah.
Fact check us. Jessica, what's your Twitter?
You can follow me at ResiJesse on Twitter.
Good. At ResiJesse if we made any mistakes.
No.
No, trust me.
Any mistakes? Oh, God. I'll just turn off my notifications for a little while.
Oh, God. We would be... Boom, 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 boom. I'll tell you a story after the podcast about one Twitter mistake I did. But thank you for listening to the KeenGamer podcast. Please check out KeenGamer.com. We got a lot of great content. I just put out a Severance review. You got to watch that and play Bugsnax and play Undead Nightmare. You got to do everything I say. And love the world. You also got to do that. You see, I'm a good guy. And please give us 5 stars on Spotify. It helps reach us a wider audience. So, Jessica, people can find you at ResiJesse. Noah, where can people find you?
You can find my YouTube channel. Just on YouTube, type in The Black Rose with spaces. If it's not up there, add the word Bethesda. You'll find me. If you want to know who I think the mother or mothers of Jarl Balgruuf's children is and are, then you got to subscribe. I agreed 50 subscribers. I'll tell you the answer. And for this one, I'd say I'm more sure than I am about guessing the mother of the fog. But I love how like the mysteries all pertain to someone's maternity.
Yeah.
Noah, when did your channel turn into Maury? We will find out who's the mother.
Right. Yeah.
Or I should have gone with a How I Met Your Mother joke. Yeah. They both would have sucked.
Do it. I'll edit it in later.
Yeah. Just add like Kane, like sitcom, like fake laughter. But thank you for listening. Next week, we will have a Doctor Strange review.